Just after Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, announced that he was no longer going to honor the gentleman agreement between him and PDP to allow peace reign. If you notice, for a while, there have not been any banter or back and forth between Wike and PDP. I think it lasted for just 1 or 2 weeks. But now Wike has, said in a statement released earlier today that the agreement has ended because why did somebody other than Anyanwu, who he supports to be the secretary of PDP, why would they allow that person to sign the zonal election or the zonal letter sent to INEC to come and, be the electoral umpire for the election in the North Central that happened this weekend? Wike have, called out Seyi Makinde as well, saying that Seyi Makinde is a betrayal, and some other PDP members saying he's done. He's done being loyal. He's done, holding up the agreements that they have made, saying that, these other people are not holding up the other end of a bargain. Anyway, I think that PDP right now is in panic mode because PDP BOT has called for an emergency meeting immediately after this Wike's declaration. Before we delve right into the details of today's news, if this is your first time here or you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and subscribe. Hit on the like button that we were encouraged to keep giving you more reliable and authentic news. Please also leave your opinions in the comment section below as well. In what appears a panic move, the Board of Trustees BOT of the People's Democratic Party PDP has called for an emergency meeting on Monday, May 26. The meeting is being called as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Nyesom Wike, has declared war against the leadership of a party. Wike has been at loggerheads with the PDP leadership since he lost out in the scheming for the party's 2023 vice presidential ticket. In a statement on Sunday, personally signed by him, Wike stated that he had pulled out of all truce agreements he entered into with the party leadership and stakeholders. Vows to fight on till justice is served. The minister accused the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, of dishonesty and treachery, adding that Makinde and the party leadership breached truce agreements the party reached with him. It said since after the 2023 general election, the PDP has been wantonly swinging from one part of a slippery precipice to another, owing fundamentally to dishonesty and lack of trust amongst his key stakeholders. You guys remember, I think earlier this month, there were reports that, Seyi Makinde met with Nyesom Wike in Lagos, just to be, just to serve as an intermediary between Wike and the PDP governors. And I think it was at that, meeting that Wike agreed, call it truce with the other governors and PDP in general, just, leave them for a while and stop calling them out, thinking that, they would fulfill their own end of a bargain and that, as agreed, the deputy secretary of PDP would now stand as the acting secretary. Instead, there would not be Anyanwu, there would not be Sunday Udeh-Okoye. So the position would not go to Sunday Udeh-Okoye, it would not go to Anyanwu. So it would now go to the deputy secretary, who would now act as the acting secretary. But seeing that it was Sunday Udeh-Okoye who signed the letter that was sent to INEC to come and serve as an umpire for the zonal North Central Congress that happened this weekend, Wike has sparked. He has decided to renege on his agreement and said that, look here, I am no longer in agreement. I am no longer following what we agreed on. Moving on. To stem this ugly trend, efforts have been made to arrest this pernicious virus of dishonesty and treachery and enthrone fidelity to agreements with a view to stabilizing the party and moving it forward. To this end, a meeting of the G5 was held in Lagos. In that meeting, I made it clear to the governor of Oyo State, H.E. Seyi Makinde, that he was the architect of our problem, pointing out to him that non-adherence to agreements reached was the bane of a party and that he was the chief culprit of this anomaly. At the end of the meeting, we resolved to bury the hatchet and make progress. As a follow-up to the aforementioned meeting, there was an expanded meeting in Abuja involving Seyi Makinde, Umaru Fitiri, Bala Mohammed, Bukola Saraki, and I in Saraki's guest house. In that meeting, I made it clear that I had no personal problems with Bala Mohammed, except that he hides under the facade of chairman of PDP Governors Forum to serially renege on agreements. Tensions rose mightily in the meeting, and it took all concerned to calm fried nerves. At the end of the meeting, we came to some resolutions. According to him, part of the resolutions was that Senator Samuel Anyanwu would be retained as PDP National Secretary in tandem with the judgment of the Supreme Court. He added that the said agreement also mandated the PDP to withdraw the suit filed by the party's governors challenging the president, Bola Tinubu's declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State. Wike also stated that all other litigations filed by the PDP against any of his loyalists should be withdrawn and that the agreements were binding on the parties. Continuing, Wike said, in the light of the foregoing, they pleaded with me to attend the stakeholders meeting at the Bauchi Government Lounge, regardless of my many engagements. I attended the meeting and clearly reiterated my earlier concerns, and to this end, and in order to resolve all other lingering and pending issues, a committee was formed, headed by Bukola Saraki. It is disheartening to note that even before the Bukola Saraki Reconciliation Committee began its work, the gentleman's agreement was reached at Saraki's guest house was already being crudely violated. To my chagrin, Seyi Makinde had connived with Peter Oba of Enugu State to orchestrate the summoning of a meeting of so-called Southeast leaders to recommend that if Udeh-Okoye was not adopted as secretary, they would pull out of the PDP. I have since granted an interview to the effect that that resolution of the Southeast leaders cannot hold. Again, Seyi Makinde organized some people in the National Secretariat to insist that the Deputy National Secretary should act as National Secretary in violation of the agreement earlier reached. To attempt to give credence to this farce, a letter was written by the Deputy National Secretary calling for a meeting of a neck of a party. Furthermore, the letter confirming the candidacy of a governorship candidate of a party in the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State, duly signed by the National Secretary, Senator Anyanwu, and the acting national chairman, was portrayed as rejected by the party through a rebuttal letter signed by the National Publicity Secretary, acting on the orders of Seyi Makinde and Peter Oba. All these actions are in complete violation of the agreement reached and would not do the party any good whatsoever. On the 24th of May 2025 in Jos, for instance, a well-publicized and properly attended zonal elective Congress of a PDP was adopted because the letter inviting INEC to the Congress was signed by the Deputy National Secretary of a party. INEC refused to attend because the proper signatory recognized by law, that is Senator Samuel Anyanwu, was not a signatory to the invitation notice. This is undeniably distasteful, provocative, and annoying, to say the least. I have painstakingly put out all these facts so that PDP members and the general public would know the truth. I have been in this party since 1998 and have worked tirelessly for the survival of this party with all my strength, and it is on record that none of these persons have done anything close to what I have done to sustain this party. The minister further stated how he contributed substantially to the electoral victories of most of the party's governors without making any personal demands on any of them. Most importantly, I had thought that we could keep the trust amongst us, but since it is now obvious that they would continue to play games to the detriment of a party, as is the case in the current debacle in the North Central Zone elections, I have now firmly decided to pull out of all agreements hitherto reached. I have decided to fight on until justice is attained, he declared. A notice for the BOT meeting signed by the PDP National Director of Publicity, Chinwe Onorom, said the meeting would take place at the PDP National Secretariat, Abuja. What are your thoughts and your opinions? Let's have them in the comment section below. Before we go, guys, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Ekundayo says, don't fall into Wike planned trap. Don't go into any agreement with him. He can't be trusted. It's the agreement that Fubara had with him that makes him to withdraw his court case, which Wike and his gang makes use against him. Any agreement with him is at your own peril. You all, thank you very much for always listening and watching. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain for now. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.